Thank you so much. So, hello everyone, and my name is Kaz Iguchi. I'm a teacher at Kansai Soka High School, and I'm deeply honored to stand before you today. The last time I came here, I also said this, but it's not easy bringing somebody from Japan. So I'd like to wholeheartedly thank the organizers of this event for making it possible for me to be here and for all of us to be here. So thank you so much. Thank you. It's with this great appreciation that today I would like to share with you what my high school, an example of what one high school, a proud UNESCO school, might I add, is doing in Japan. And so I want to emphasize that not all high schools in Japan do this kind of education. And in fact, Japanese high schools in general do not teach about the topic of nuclear weapons or World War II. It's rarely discussed, except for those schools in Hiroshima or Nagasaki. And another thing I want to emphasize is that I stand here as an ordinary teacher, as an ordinary citizen, with this purpose to seek what each and every human being can do. And not everybody can travel to Japan, and not everybody can have the chance to go to Hiroshima or Nagasaki, although it really should be on your bucket list. It's something that you really should do. And not everybody will have a chance to meet with the A-bomb survivors, the hibakshas. Actually, this is a current challenge because in Japan and internationally, the average age of survivors has reached 85. And so the question, what can the next generation, what can we, the youth, do to protect and further create peace? And this is my mission today of why I come all the way from Japan to address this really very important question. And so my role today and tomorrow is to empower you to find something that you can take back to your schools, to your family, to your communities, because I really believe that change can start from the collective youth. So if you look at the slide over here, so that was my trip 2 days ago. It's no biggie, it's just 15 hours, just sit back and relax. And so, you know, about 11 hours in, you'll kind of see the peninsula of Japan through your window, and you see some 3 stars. So one on the top is Sapporo Soka Kindergarten. That's our kindergarten that we have up north. And then in the middle, the orange, kind of hard to see, but the star on the right is Tokyo. And so we have a high school there, and we also have a university, Soka University. And to your left is my high school, Kansai Soka High School. And a little bit more in, that's where Osaka is, and that's where I came from. And on to the left, 3 hours to the left, 3 hours about on a bullet train ride is Hiroshima. So we're pretty close. That's my high school, Kansai Soka High School. So, and that's in the springtime. When I left, it was 20 degrees. So this is Kansai Soka High School. It was founded in 1973 by our founder, Dr. Daisaku Ikeda. And each school is very unique. Rather than adhering to a pedagogical approach, each Soka school cherishes principles and mottos that are presented by the founder, which becomes the pillar of our education and also later a compass in life as students navigate through society. So at Kansai Soka High School, students, teachers, everybody, we treasure this motto that was presented in our first entrance ceremony by our founder, Daisaku Ikeda. Never build your happiness upon the misfortune of others. Please remember this. This motto is etched deep inside the hearts of our students as they strive to practice this motto in their daily life, school experience. Maybe we can all say this together, just like the exercise before. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Never build your happiness upon the misfortune of others. That's going to be a key motto. So the core objective of our educational mission at Kansai Soka is to nurture global citizens who wholeheartedly devote to the values of peace, culture, and humanism. Global citizenship and this motto of never building one's happiness upon the misfortune of others are the two pillars upon which our educational philosophy stands. And the founder of our school system, his name is Dr. Daisaku Ikeda. He is a peace builder, a Buddhist, a philosopher, educator, author, and poet. He has many titles. He's very well known as the president of SGI, Soka Gakkai International, one of the world's largest and most diverse community-based Buddhist associations. He is our founder and also of many international institutions promoting peace, culture, and education. He's received over 400 academic honorary doctorates, including Guelph Humber University in Ontario and also Laval University in Quebec. Dr. Helfand also mentioned about Gorbachev meeting Reagan. And if you actually go back in history, Daisaku Ikeda had a dialogue with Gorbachev. They're very good friends, actually. And he played a big role in Gorbachev meeting Reagan, actually. So he is a promoter of peace through dialogue, and he is the founder of Kansai Soka High School. And in his famous speech that he made at Columbia University Teachers College in 1996, Ikeda proposed the following issues to be incorporated into all levels of education. So here it is: peace education, in which young people learn the cruelty and folly of war, just like we are doing, to root the practice of nonviolence in human society. Environmental education, to study current ecological realities and means of protecting the environment. Developmental education, to focus attention on issues of poverty and global justice. Human rights education, to awaken an awareness of human equality and dignity. So this was his proposal, and Kansai Soka High School undertook an ambitious project to put these proposals into our education. It was about 10 years ago. So for all of our students at our high school, we've created a program called GRIT, which stands for Global Research and Inquiry Time. And this integrated curriculum study course teaches students about global issues related to the 4 fields of environment, development, human rights, and peace. And in global citizenship seminars, we invite distinguished guest speakers from all around the world to give a talk about these 4 topics. And for those who can't get enough, we have optional courses where we have weekly classes led by guest lecturers focusing on the 4 topics, where students have a chance to visit Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Tohoku, all these places in Japan as well as California, providing firsthand exposure to learn about these 4 fields from experts. And furthermore, our selective program, it's an honors program called Learning Cluster, which I overlooked, empowers students to apply their English language skills that they learn in their subject classes to study about global issues. And during my presentation, I'll delve more into the GRIT program and the field works that we have and the Learning Cluster program. And please, think about how these kind of initiatives could be also implemented in your school as well. So let's start with the GRIT program. So for all of our high school students, starting from grade 10, students learn about global issues in general through various activities, and we consider this to be the input stage, to be more aware about what's happening around the world and what kind of issues that we have. And then in grade 11, students team up in groups of 3 to 4 and pick a topic that interests them. And during this phase, students have the opportunity to present their research to university professors. They go visit different universities. And then in grade 12, the entire grade of 360 students, we have that amount in a grade, engage in a Model United Nations forum, as you can see right here. Each group of 3 to 4 students represents a country as ambassadors, creating a massive forum of representing 92 countries. The objective for all the countries is to come to a consensus drafting a resolution for one global issue. And after the forum, students write essays on the topic that from the viewpoint of the country that they represented, and they also write English summaries that are taught in our English classes. We actually had this last week before I came. And then during our field work in California, students have the chance to meet with former UN Undersecretary General Ambassador Chaudhry, where they present their MUN draft resolutions and receive feedback on what would happen if this was actually presented at the United Nations. And let's see here. So you can see our students acquire the knowledge and dive deeper into researching these issues and through various experiences. And one of them is Learning Cluster. And Learning Cluster is designed for about 16 to 20 students who are interested to use their English language skills to research global issues in English. And the program tests students to use their English for academic research, discussions, and presentations. And in addition to developing these English skills, we teach the students critical thinking, leadership, problem-solving skills through various activities and opportunities. And these English skills are then integrated to address the SDGs, and the students harness these skills to embark on research projects, receiving guidance and support from our team teachers. Over the past 10 years, we have dealt with a variety of different issues. These are just some examples. You can see the four fields: peace, human rights, development, and environment. But just recently, we have focused our attention solely on nuclear disarmament issues because we believe that these issues encompass the root of all global issues. And during the first semester of Learning Cluster, students learn the basic skills, the research skills, the general information of SDGs, what it means to be a global citizen. We have workshops like that to build a foundation of the topic. And as students learn more and more, maybe this is happening to you right now, they gradually become lost, confused, frustrated, and some even are convinced of the deterrence theory and that nuclear weapons are actually necessary. So as a teacher, what do you do in that kind of situation? Right? So we take them on a trip. So this is an example of one of the trips that we did to Hiroshima. Please enjoy.
I must have always known that this would be inevitable.
Thank you. This was a trip back in 2016, then COVID hit, and then finally we reinitiated the Hiroshima fieldwork this year. And we also had a fieldwork to Nagasaki, and also students had the choice to go to Monterey, California, where they could present their research at the James Martin Research Institute for Nonproliferation. So this is a comment from one of my students who went on this fieldwork. And actually, this was a conversation that she was having with her friends in the dormitory, and I just happened to pass by listening to it, and I said, wait, could you write this down? And so this was what she was actually sharing in just a very casual dialogue that she had with her friend. She said, I learned many important things through Hiroshima fieldwork. First, my views of nuclear weapons have changed. Before going on the fieldwork, I learned about nuclear deterrence theory, and I was somewhat convinced. Although I know how inhumane nuclear weapons are, I couldn't refute against the idea. However, through hearing the testimonies of hibakshas, visiting the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum, and listening to the poems of survivors, I was disgusted that we could justify having weapons that has the power to make people suffer this much. A world that has such weapons exist is like letting evil exist. This made me realize that international security that depends on threat is not correct, and that true international security should be based on trust. So before she went on this trip, she was convinced that deterrence theory works, and you can see a transformation in the way she began to see the problem. And we will look into this a little bit more during my keynote tomorrow, but please think about what made her change. Of course, we can say it's the experience that she had during the trip, but as I said before, not everybody can have the same opportunity. So I think there's something here. that can help us realize the root of the problem and what we can actually do. And once students come back from their trips, you can imagine they're very eager to do something. So this is when students break off into groups and start their research. And this year, not just nuclear weapons, but we wanted to have students do research projects of nuclear weapons from 5 different perspectives. And so these were the ones that the students chose. They chose gender, human rights, environment, energy, and generation, the generation challenge. And actually, you saw all of the exhibitions, right? The panels. Actually, there are 15 different challenges, different topics that the panel represents. One panel represents one kind of issue. So actually, my students chose these topics after looking at all of the panels. They chose the 5 topics based on the panels that we have here, actually. So this is something that maybe you could do as well. And since the pandemic, our Learning Cluster students have started collaborating with Guelph Humber University in Ontario, and we've been meeting every 2 to 3 weeks to conduct research together in groups. Actually, we have a call tomorrow, tonight actually. And our students are examining the issues from the perspective of not only Japan, but also from Canada. And we're very excited to see the outcome of this special exchange. And there are 5 stages to our research. First, students make a research question and decide on a methodology and collect data. And after collecting data, they analyze their findings. And usually after doing something like this, we would write a paper, right? But it's not like that. They become very creative. After they find out through their research what the problem really is, or the discovery that they have after the data collection, they think of projects that they can create based on what they found. So we had students in the past make a manga, like a comic book, to storytell these kind of issues to elementary school kids. That was interesting. Some made podcasts, some have created posters, some have started campaigns. So it's really up to the students' creativity of what they do with the research. And as students finish their research projects in second semester, third semester is a chance for everybody to share. So these activities include a trip to California where they present their research to high school students, to professors, experts in the field. And this year, I just came back from LA last month, we're planning a visit to UCLA, University of San Diego, University of Southern California, 2 local high schools, and Soka University, that's also in California. We have in the past held events with world leading figures such as the Undersecretary General Ambassador Chaudhry, which I mentioned earlier, Dr. David Krieger from the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation. If you don't know about the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation, you should definitely check them out. And Dr. Lawrence Carter, Dean from the Martin Luther King Jr. International Chapel at Morehouse College. And I hear that a student from Morehouse College is also going to join us for this event. Has he arrived yet? Not yet, but he will be. So yeah, it's wonderful. And after they come back from these trips, students have discussion sessions. They organize discussion sessions to share. They have presentation sessions. They share during our open campus for visitors. And they even create newspapers. Now that's one project that they like to do. And the final project of our learning cluster is publishing our work as a high school peace proposal, which is a collection of students' research that includes their hope for the future. And as they embark into university and find a job, and maybe some might do things related to nuclear abolition, but not all of them do, most of them don't, but they come back to this and remember the kind of work that they did and also remember the hope that they had as a high school student. So that is our global citizenship program at Kansai Soka High School. And maybe there was something here that you found interesting that could be implemented in your school activities. And when I look back at the 10 years of this program in the making, we didn't have a concrete plan, and we didn't know that things would turn out this way. But everything has and continues to stem from our founding principle and the heritage that we really treasure. And these are some of the gems that I found being involved in these initiatives, which I like to share with you. First is that the goal is to foster global citizens, and learning about nuclear weapons is the means to do that. We have in the past dealt with other global issues, but found that nuclear weapons are the most difficult, abstract, and it feels the most distant from high school students' life. And yet, this issue, as you are learning today, directly relates to every single person and requires immediate attention. If students can make a personal connection with nuclear disarmament, then I think they can start to care about any kind of issue. But this is the most difficult, and this is where we start. Nuclear weapons connects to almost all these kind of complex political issues that we have in our world, and that's why it needs a multifaceted approach. And so by getting a better understanding of our situation of nuclear weapons, students get a better grasp of our situation today. But by merely teaching nuclear weapons as knowledge is certainly not enough, and that's the danger. We need to foster the heart and build a sense of mission. Otherwise, this problem becomes intellectual, political, or unrelatable. And that's why I want to leave you with this last sentence. We want to foster somebody who is not only knowledgeable in the issue, but. Please find the answer to this sentence. As AI continues to develop, we are repeatedly asked this question of what makes us truly human. And education will be challenged to this task of responding. And that's exactly what I want to address in my keynote tomorrow morning. Lastly, I leave you with this quote by Daisaku Ikeda. The ultimate goal of education and research is the good of humankind. Learning is the means. Humanity is the end. We must never reverse these priorities. Knowledge acquired through the search for truth must be put to use for humanity. Thank you so much.